Welcome back. Today's gonna be another episode of She Saw It on the Internet, and now I'm making it. Okay, so this is what she saw. It's from the Joe Beef account, which is a restaurant in Montreal, Quebec. And all it says is, blue cheese butter is bestowed upon filet and tomato. So not a whole lot to go on, but it looks like we've got sauce, probably a reduction, filet, tomato with some white shavings on it. We'll have to figure that out. The blue cheese butter and some chives on top. I'm gonna make a nice dinner to go with it. So stick around. Let's go do some hunting and gathering. People like to think Portland is weird. Okay, maybe it is. But it also has incredible produce. Portland was the end of the Oregon Trail. This is what folks were coming out for, risking everything for. Or maybe they were just weirdos that didn't fit in back east. So this line is for peaches. I've seen it twice as long, but it's still totally worth it. These are some really good peaches. And we found these beautiful baby gems for a salad. But no fillets today, so we headed over to one of Portland's best butchers. Providore is a collective food emporium extravaganza. It's the place you go to get the special stuff. The Iberico ham, that special vinegar you can't find anywhere else. And there's a meat shop in the back. Revel Meat Company has great meat, and of course, it's all locally sourced and ethically raised. The only thing left is arguably the star of the show, one of our own heirloom tomatoes. And while I'm here, I'm gonna grab some thyme and some chives. So the first thing I wanna do is I get this meat prepped and drying out. Now I got from the butcher one big piece of tenderloin because fillets are just pieces of tenderloin. I'm going to cut this into 2-inch pieces. That's thick enough that we can get a good sear on the outside without overcooking the center. I want these fillets to keep their circular shape and cook evenly, so I'm going to tie them up with some butcher's twine. Left over right, right over left. I want to get these really dry. If they're wet, they'll just steam and we won't get a good sear, and that's where the flavor comes from. I season with salt and pepper, both sides. I'm going to put these on a wire rack and back in the fridge for a bit to help them dry out further while I work on everything else. I also want to get the blue cheese butter mixed and chillin'. I use 1 stick of unsalted butter with a 1/4 cup of blue cheese, lemon juice, and salt and pepper. Mix it all up, lay it out on some parchment, and then roll it up so I'll be able to cut a nice round piece like they had in the picture. And put it in the fridge to stiffen up. Look at these peaches we got. Really fantastic. Definitely worth waiting in line for. My grandfather grew peaches. Bring home a big box straight from the packing house. I remember my grandmother standing over the sink, cutting them up just like this. Put them in a bowl with some cream, some sugar. But tonight, I'm making a crisp. I'm gonna get it done early, let it cool. This time of year, nothing needs to be hot. All right, so to these peaches, I'm going to add some sugar. I'm not sure it really needs it, but okay. A pinch of salt, some lemon juice, and some cornstarch. I'm gonna get that all mixed up. So the topping for this crisp is flour and oats. That reminds me of the topping for a Scottish Rumbledethump. I have a video for that. I'll put a link down below. Also, more sugar. I'm going to mix mash this up with my hands until it's clumpy, and then spread it over the peaches. Then into an oven at 375 for 45 to 50 minutes. All right, so I think we're ready for the main event. I had these in the fridge for a while drying out, but they've actually been out of the fridge for over an hour, getting to room temperature. One of the Joe Beef books suggests that you take them out 3 hours before cooking, but you do you. So let's get to the stove. I'm heating this cast iron up on high. I want it very hot to help me get that nice sear. I'm using avocado oil because it's a neutral flavor and has a high smoke point. Once I put the steaks in, I turn the temperature down to medium, but then I turn up the flavor. I add some thyme, some garlic cloves, and some unsalted butter. Okay, so let's review. To get a really good sear, I got the steaks good and dry, let them warm up so it doesn't take forever for the center to get to temperature, and I got the pan really hot. There it is. Look at that beautiful sear. I was looking for a medium rare to rare, so just 3 minutes before I flip. Once I flip, I start spreading the butter over the steaks. Basting is going to help it cook and saturate them with flavor. After another 3 minutes, I check the temp. I'm looking for 120, knowing once I pull it off the heat, it will keep cooking to a temperature of 125, which is a perfect rare, medium rare. But alas, Joe Beef was right. These aren't anywhere near close, so 3 hours now sounds very reasonable. I flipped a couple more times, kept basting, and watched the temperature. Once they got to 120, I pulled them off to rest for at least 5 minutes, so now I can go to work on the sauce. I fish the thyme and garlic out, add some shallot and minced garlic, and deglaze with some red wine. Let that cook down a little before adding some beef stock and letting it cook down. I want to thicken this up just a bit, so I'm adding some butter, which will give the sauce a nice silky texture. A little salt, a little pepper, and then I strain it. Okay, time to start plating this. This tomato is a brandy boy, and the white shavings on top, well, I emailed Joe Beef to ask, and it turns out it's horseradish. And the butter turned out great. Look at this nice little round piece. Our sauce goes down, now the filet, and the tomato with the horseradish, and the butter and the chives. Voila. So good. Okay, time to dig into this crisp, see what we got. Look at those nice peaches. So if you like this, don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time.